There could be money inside your home and you don't even know it. So today we're at an antique home in Wilbraham and we're going to show you where to look for antiques that might be in your home or your parents' home. Let's go. So here to tell us all about the house in Wilbraham is Christian Lund. He's the owner of Fancy That Antiques in Wilbraham. What a house.
Seth, welcome. Over the years, they've been restoring this place, and what I wanted to show you guys is really what they've done and what you can find of value in places like this.
So there's some things in the antique world that are hot right now that are in homes. People might not even know it.
Right. Whether you have a home from the 50s or an antique home from like here, 1870s, you can always find something of value.
So the first thing I look at when I come in here is just the landscape painting. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Russ and Jessica Evans own this place. Russ Evans painted this. He actually restored this whole stairway here, and he painstakingly hand-painted all these scenes, going up the whole staircase.
Now, another thing that's real hot in antiques right now, you were saying, are these wood pieces.
Yeah, so this antique newel post is circa 1870s, Victorian walnut, and it goes all the way up the banister. These banisters are hard to find. A lot of people have antique-looking homes, and they want to incorporate the old world with new stuff too. And not just do all old or all new. To actually incorporate some antiques in your home brings up the value. What you see in this room is antique lighting. So you've got the chandelier up there with the iridescent
crystals?
Yeah, the iridescent crystals. Each one of those were hand blown. Some were made in a mold, but these are actually older. That's 1870s technology. Now this was electrified, so back in the day this would be all gas.
Now there's another antique element here too.
Yeah, so you got the hurricane lamp there. A hurricane lamp like that, like a fair market value, probably about $290, $350 range.
And this is things that people might have in their attics right now too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Antique lighting and lighting parts are extremely hard to find these days.
Well, Christian, there's a whole lot more house to explore. You mind taking me on a tour?
Let's go.
All right, let's get moving. Christian, this room has a whole lot of antiques that a lot of people at home might have in their homes.
You might not have this one in your home, but if you do, that's pretty cool. So back in the day, there were no funeral homes back then. So you had pocket doors to actually shut or open a room. So you could have one in here or in here. So this is a cool pocket door. That one opens as well with some really neat original hardware, 1870s.
You're using original hardware, old school fixtures are very much in right now.
Oh, absolutely. This stuff is really hard to find. It used to be kind of like a dime a dozen, but in the past 10, 20 years, they have really gone up in value.
So if you have some at home, you're in good shape. Now, what about stained glass? I see over here we have some gorgeous stained glass.
Stained glass windows, so first of all, they're hot. If you see them, try to pick them up. And if the ones that are worth more have jewels in the centers of them. So like this one actually does, not all of them do, have little green cut crystal centers, just like that chandelier we looked at. This is in a stained glass piece.
Very cool, so it makes it even more valuable too.
Absolutely, yes.
Now there's another neat thing, and this is all throughout the house, but it's pretty much a kind of like a hurricane lamp.
Yeah, so they call it a hurricane lamp. There's different names for it. Some of them actually have, they're run off of like whale oil or kerosene.
And now this one is built on a pivot.
Yeah, so they pivot. Yeah, that's stuff very collectible. Just like the hardware, it's really hard to find.
And what about this cabinet? Because this seems hot, and I think a lot of people have this, or you see them in like free piles on the side of the road sometimes.
Yeah, actually, the owner of the house actually did find this on a job, and or it was given to him. It is hard to find. You got the antique, if you look at the glass front on it, on the doors, the pocket doors, or the break front door that opens up, you see the ripples in them? If you see ripples in antique cabinets, that's a good sign. It's a good testament of age. So the older pieces of glass will have those ripples in them, versus a new glass that it would just be smooth.
I'm loving these tips. Let's keep exploring.
Yeah.
So now we're in the living room, and one of the big things you're talking about these days in the world of antiques are old clocks.
So this is a kitchen clock, or another word is another name for it is a gingerbread clock. Notice like a gingerbread cookie. So they would wet the wood and take a press and mush it to get this pattern in here. This is made, there are many clock companies just like today, but this is by the Welch company, E.N. Welch. This is probably about 1860, 1880, that range. These things are collectible. just like the pendulum in there that has a lot of detail, like the hardware that we saw in here. You just don't find the detail in items like in vintage clocks today.
Now, another thing that's really hot right now is this pattern, this type of material. What is this?
This is actually called an apothecary jar. So, like antique or vintage barber stores, or barber shops, I should say, would have these in the windows to attract customers because they look cool. Sometimes they'd fill them full of like a green or a blue fluid. This is called mercury glass, a mercury glass apothecary jar. So yeah, these are hot. The antique ones you can find are I should say, are very hard to find. If you can pick them up, buy them. But if you can buy antique ones, it's a good investment grade. You can't lose on them.
But if people like what they see here, that's a great DIY tip. You can go and grab a regular jar and then spray it with that kind of paint.
Yeah, there's a new paint that came out. It's expensive. I've actually tried it, and I've taken a canning jar in the shop, and I've done it, and you can put little votive candles in there, and it's a cool decor accessory.
Very cool. Now, another thing that might be at your grandma's house and you might not know about it until you realize how valuable it is something like this fireplace. Tell us about this.
So this is original to the structure here. These are cool because they're all in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 different, 8 different pieces that are pieced together like a puzzle. So this is slate. Again, from 1870s. It's called with a faux finish. This stuff is really collectible too. The nice thing going for this piece is it's all original and it's not damaged. I see a lot of these that are chipped or cracked, and it's really hard to restore these things when they're chipped or cracked, and this one's not.
Christian, these are great tips. Thanks so much for inviting us to this historic home in Wilbraham. And if you want more tips on the things that you found in your home, or maybe the best ways to surf a yard sale, just head to our website, mymassappeal.com, later today.